What's up, Zach? How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right, man. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Now we're gonna kill the music. Uh,
Well, experimental intro.
experimental intro, that's for sure. Uh, so here we are. I'm at home today here in Ocala, Florida. Where are you coming to us from?
South Haven, Mississippi, just outside of Memphis.
It's awesome.
Yep.
All right, so today we're talking quarterback sleepers. So that's pretty exciting. It's always fun. People ask all the time, who are the sleepers? It's one of those things you search for all the time. I remember, obviously thumbing through those NFL fantasy magazines as a kid, which actually I was doing yesterday at Barnes and Noble locally, and I saw like John Lobb and a few other guys featured in there in a magazine that I was checking out. They were going over some NFL sleepers. So we're going to do that for college fantasy football quarterbacks today. But first, just want to mention we are now 49 days, 22 hours, 17 minutes from kickoff. Getting pretty excited. If you can start to feel it getting close, not in the weather here in Florida. It's really flaming hot, but yeah, but dang, it's starting to feel it. It's starting to get close.
Yeah.
And also this would be actually this would be the upcoming Tuesday, I guess, that the college football video game would normally launch. So we're potentially 1 year and a few days away from that based on some recent news. So that's pretty exciting. And we're talking about that a little bit in our Discord channel. Let me screen share real quick. So for those of you checking us out on YouTube, appreciate it. If you hit the subscribe, that helps us out a ton. But I'm sure you guys know that by now. I'm showing you Draft Central. So just under Draft Prep, you can get here from multiple ways, but on the website, Draft Central, this is where you want to go for all of the draft preparation for any of your college fantasy football drafts. We have 3 types of rankings at cfbdynasty.com. We have the standard rankings. This is for your redraft league. We have keeper rankings. This is for a college-only league. Some people call it dynasty. I just grew up calling it keeper, so I've kept it the same on the website. And then our version of the dynasty league is basically what you hear on the C2C or your Devy style league, where it's really favoring college football players with NFL potential. So those are all live and accessible to members, and you just have to log in and check it out. You can download, exports. There's filters by conference if you have a weird player pool or whatever.
So also, just I me jump in. So the Discord, the CFB Dynasty Discord, will also have eventually, not at the moment, but eventually will have exclusive channels and content in the Discord that you will have access to when you subscribe.
Yeah, we just recently launched it. We have 30 or 40 members in there now. But yeah, the real goal here is to be able to have a community where we can chat back and forth. Once we go to our in season, that's where you'll have a lot of the member benefits of, we'll be doing, stardom, sit-em, all kinds of different DFS stuff, and we'll have fun with it. It's college football, so we're just here to have some fun and obviously potentially make some money along the way with some of the algorithmic features we're launching this year. So that's pretty exciting. But yeah, if you want to get into the Discord, you can go to the connect part in the top navigation. And there, of course, you can follow us on Twitter. You can subscribe to us on YouTube. But yeah, join the community. You can click on that. And then you can access it with the little purple Discord icon anywhere on the website. But there's a link on this page that you have to click to join. And then you can access it anywhere. It's free to join. Just come, check it out, communicate. And we'll have some fun with it.
Heck yeah.
All right. So let's get started. So we're talking some, sleepers for quarterbacks. kind of my criteria, and everybody kind of has their own criteria for sleepers in anything, but it's just, will they outperform the tier that they're drafted in terms of average draft position? And for this, I'm kind of based it on where we're ranking these players right now. So I've got rankings up, and we can talk through some of these and talk through them live. But I'll start with one that I have. So Spencer Rattler is one that I really, when he kind of fell off last year, I kind of fell off the Rattler bandwagon as he got
Yeah.
benched, and
I'm kind of right there with you. Like
the crowd turned against him and all that.
Rattler, especially right now, Rattler's draft position is low enough to where you can take the risk on him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's not going to be drafted as a top 15 guy, probably not even top 20.
Right.
I don't know exactly where you have him ranked, but
34th right now.
Okay, right. Okay, so not even top 30. So if you're saying he's the 34th best quarterback, that's not a terrible spot to grab him at.
Yeah.
Even if you try to jump in the top 30 and say, you know what, I like his upside, I like his talent, I'll take him. I think it's a good sleeper.
Yeah. I mean, if he's your third quarterback, that's pretty solid, I think.
Yeah.
So South Carolina, they've got the full O-line coming back. So really experienced there now. Obviously they lose some, production at running back, but they've got Jaheim Bell, who everyone's high on at tight end, and then they also have Stogner, Josh Van.
By the way,
Antoine
Bell
Wells.
might be the best tight end. I've never said this on any podcast, on the Burning Red Shirt podcast or nothing, but like everybody just claims that Brock Bowers is the best tight end, and he very well could be, just because of what we saw, late in the season last year for Georgia. But if you're talking like just pure talent at the tight end position, Bell might be the best all-around tight end, especially like if you're talking next level. Bell might be that guy.
I would take Bowers, but yeah, Bell's
no. I don't.
Trigg is extremely athletic too, and Mini Gronk up at Notre Dame. There's some really good ones.
But if you watch his tape, like I think I saw this maybe a week or so ago. Like he's one of the only tight ends that they're lining up Deebo Samuel like. And
right.
It's funny. It's funny I say that because Deebo went to South Carolina also, but Bell, like they'll motion him into the backfield and hand him the ball. And you don't see a lot of tight ends doing that.
No.
I mean, let's be real. And like that just shows you his athleticism. And I think the clip that I saw, they hand him the ball and he like turns the corner and he like turns the jets on. And you're like, dude, this is a tight end. Just outrunning people. I said, you know what? You can't teach that. That's just pure athleticism.
Yeah, with him and Stogner, it's one of the best tight end combinations in the country. And then just to go along with Shane Beamer's offense, and that's his jam. So he's one that he could step in. I don't know that there's less pressure. Obviously, Oklahoma's a more higher profile job than South Carolina, but South Carolina's fans, I mean, they love football. They have some expectations. I see
expectations, but they're not. They can't. I don't think they even think that they're winning the SEC East. Let's be real.
Yes, I agree with that. I just know the passion is there from their fans. Like,
I mean, so Ole Miss has passion too, but they aren't thinking they're going to beat Alabama every year.
Right.
I mean, they very well could on a given year.
Yeah.
But realistically, you're thinking, okay, if we can win 9 games, that's a good season. Really good.
Totally
season.
Agree. And yeah, it's totally different job. And I'm just saying it's not going to be no pressure. It's just a little bit lower pressure.
Yeah.
And he could thrive there. Like he totally could. I mean, in the new offense. And we'll see. He's a sleeper to me because I kind of soured on him just as a player. He was in the perfect position. Seemed like if you can't thrive there, at Oklahoma with all the receivers and that offense, that's tough. But he could have a resurgence. He was the number one quarterback when he came out.
Call. Maybe he needed a wake-up call. Like some people, they think they've got it made and they're going to have an easy cakewalk, and they kind of get hit in the face and say, you know what, you're not as good as you think you are. And a reality check, I guess, is what
It's a great point.
So maybe this is that for him, or maybe he's just not that good. We'll find out. But
We will.
I think he's a good at this. I'm leaning on that he's better than we think he is.
Yeah,
So,
I think so too. Who do you have on the list
so
here?
I'm going to stay in the state of South Carolina, and I'm going to go with
Good.
DJU. Clemson. And I know people are like, oh, God, here we go, DJU again. But I have to bank on the fact that Clemson's got tons of talent. DJU was like the top 1 or 2 quarterback prospects coming in that year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And he's got the prototype size. He's 6'5", 245, 50 plus. I don't know what he's at now. But he's got it. Like when you look at the measurables, you're like, this guy's a can't miss prospect. And then you watch him play and you're like, okay, maybe it's just not there yet. He's not reading the game right. Whatever. Clemson has a down year. Their defense kept him in all their games, but really the offense didn't play well. I have to believe if they're still saying DJU's their starting quarterback, they are seeing something to make them say that.
Maybe.
Because they get all these talented players that come in, freshman quarterbacks, and like I have to believe that he's the best one on the roster. Maybe they all suck. I don't know. But I'm going to bank on the fact that he has the raw talent in there and he'll figure it out. Yep. And where do you have him ranked? Because this is a sleeper thing. So
38th.
38th. So some people might have him ranked even lower than that.
Yeah.
If they have him in the 40s, even 50s, I think DJU is a great option as your 4th quarterback. I think he's a great option because he has the potential to be a top 2 on your team. Maybe not top 2 all college fantasy, but like he's a top. He has potential to be top 15, 20 quarterback easily. We've seen it in that offense. You know, obviously
in that offense,
Watson, you had Taj Ford, you had all of them.
I would say look beyond the quarterback position though. Like, I still think they're missing that slot receiver. Like they're all the same. All their guys are 6'1" or more. They're all outside receivers.
I'm not saying he's a top 5 quarterback. I think if you're asking for sleeper to where he's going to outperform where he's ranked. Last year, his expectation was here. Yep. Now it's down here. So he has a lot higher chance of clearing this bar than this bar. That's kind of where I'm at with him. I would take the chance. There's a couple in our dynasty startup draft we did. Like I was kind of bummed we didn't get him because he went. I think it was like the 25th round, 30th round, or something like that. And I was kind of bummed because I was like, man, he would have been really cool to take a chance on.
Yep.
Because I mean, he went that late, so obviously, like, he's getting drafted way later, I think, than he probably should be.
I think we're gonna know. I think we'll know in week 1.
Oh, and that's another point.
They play Georgia Tech, and if it's whatever 7-3 at halftime, Klubnick's coming in, and he's my next guy that I have on my list.
Before you get into him, like I've said this on the other podcast. How much of a leash does he have? Does he have a game? Does he have 2 games, or does he have a half? Like you're saying, at Georgia Tech, if it's 7-3, 10-7, and it's close when it shouldn't be, do they pull the cord to say, look,
halfway into the first game would be bad?
That'd be awful, right?
But
you went all summer saying that he's the QB1, and then all of a sudden, halfway through the first game, he's pulled. He wasn't really QB1.
Yeah,
it was you already had the thought in your head going into the game, like, if he's not playing well, we're pulling him, and that tells me that.
Because if Klubnick were to come in there second half in that scenario, week 2 they play Furman, week 3 they play Louisiana Tech, so those are a couple perfect warm-up games to then go on the road for the first time at Wake Forest. So, but he's my next guy, Cade Klubnick. I feel like I've got him ranked now just because he's a backup.
And you took Klubnick.
Klubnick's 132nd. And DJU, who I like, great dude, and I'm rooting for him, but man, he just didn't have it last year. And it might,
Right.
again, it might not just be him. It might be that they have no slot receivers and aren't using the portal. But DJU, also in the spring game, didn't look great. We'll see. We'll see what
Mhm.
happens. But the guy that comes to mind, me being a born in Gainesville, Florida fan, Jeff Driscoll comes to mind as someone who had all the talent, weapons around him, just couldn't put it together on the field. Um,
Yeah.
didn't have the accuracy, the pocket presence, that kind of thing. So we'll see. I hope he turns it around, but I'd roll with Klubnick there. Who do you have next on your list?
I don't. It's funny. I wish I could see where you have him ranked, but I'm gonna say Chevy Cordero. Was at Hawaii, transferred to San Jose.
45th.
45th. See, I think he's easily. He's potentially a top 20 quarterback, and that offense is going to be high flying. And Cordero, coming from Hawaii, he's going to play at San Jose State. Elijah Cooks comes to San Jose State also. Sorry, my dogs are barking back there, but I don't know if you can really hear that. But
Yep. No worries.
yeah, they're probably loud. But I think the potential for him to be up there, one of the top quarterbacks, is very high. I don't know. I get a good feeling that he's going to play better than 45th. Is that what you said? 46th?
45. Yeah.
45th? Yeah. So you're telling me there's 44 better quarterbacks? I don't know. Fantasy wise, I don't think so.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe
Because
not.
I just don't think. If you said 30, maybe. But 45, 44, no. I think Cordero is a good one.
Give him a nitro boost, maybe.
He's gonna have tons of receiving options there.
Yeah.
So I think, as a matter of fact, not just Elijah Cooks. They had Andrew's perfect for this, by the way. He's all over this. But I'm blanking on the receivers. But he's got receiving options there, and they're gonna be behind in some games. So they'll probably just throw it all over the place. So as we did our win totals thing, I think we had them winning. We have them winning 8 games. That's probably way too many. but that's what we came up with. As a matter of fact, I'll look it up. So we had 7. We had them winning 7. So I mean, not crazy, but that's
one guy.
One
guy that I love. Clay Millen, Colorado State. Have you seen the amount of people that came over to Nevada with their head coach? This is kind of what you expect in the portal world. Pull out like my little Phil Steele magazine because I don't have it in front of me. But yeah, so Jay Norvell came over from Nevada.
Yep.
Clay Millen came with him, and he was next man up at Nevada. Like he's legit, proven, ready to go. He's coming in as a redshirt freshman, but he looked great in the spring. Everything I read about him is fantastic. But yeah, Melquan Stovall, wide receiver, transfer from Nevada. Torrey Horton, transfer from Nevada. Both of those two are starting receivers. And then you've also got the center and the right guard, all coming over from Nevada.
And they still starting have Dante Wright.
Yeah.
Who some people reject him highly, some people don't. But
yeah, I used to, but
right. And then you get all these transfers that come in. You're like, okay, well, maybe he gets knocked down a couple pegs, but that offense is going to be throwing it all over the place.
Yep.
So I think there's room for 3, maybe even 4 receivers that are relevant. But we're talking about quarterback, and Millen, I think, is good, especially in a sleeper form, sleeper ranking.
I've got a couple more. You have any others that you want to talk about? All right. So, Jordan Travis, Florida State. We've currently got him at 49th. I think, maybe as we kind of go through different series of the rankings, he'll probably move up the board a little bit. But they've got a lot more experienced offensive line. They helped him out with Micah Pittman at receiver. They also added another transfer, Johnny Wilson from Arizona State. He was a PS2, and if you're not familiar with your Phil Steele, little short code there. He was the 4th ranked receiver according to Phil Steele when he came out. Micah Pittman was 13th. They've got a great, stable of three deep, great running backs. But man, he struggled last year. Like, I don't think they hit 200 yards passing in more than like 3 games or something ridiculous like that. So need to see a lot more from him, but man, he's got the talent to do so. And if the line can perform better, and I know you saw those offenses at Memphis, when Mike Norvell was there, it could be a nice jump for Jordan Travis this year.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of things they're saying that like Jordan Travis is really going to surprise some people this year. I think that, we're talking about sleepers, so we're not talking about guys that we think are going to be the first guy that's going to be picked on your team. Like if this is your first quarterback, you're probably in trouble.
You're screwed.
But if you're playing in, it depends on the league you're in, but if you're playing in a league where you only start one quarterback, if he's your third option, like why not roll the dice? Because he has the potential to be really good, and that's a good thing to have. Like it's not much risk.
Yeah. Here I'm gonna.
I got one more. I'm gonna
serve one to you. Your boy Daquan Finn. Let me serve this up to you and share the screen real quick.
Yes.
All right. I'm gonna add this back to the stream. Log in, and I'll show you where he's ranked. And let's see what you think.
I think Daquan Finn is great because it's a MAC team from Toledo. It's going to be high scoring games all the time, and he can run, and that's like a dream scenario for a college fantasy quarterback, right? You want him to, he throws for 150, maybe runs for another 150 and a couple touchdowns. Like that's perfect.
21.
You have him 21st, so it's not really a sleeper. He's make
the case. Should I have him above KJ Jefferson, Cameron Ward?
Well, I think he should be number 1, but let's just I'm just kidding. No. With those guys that you have ranked there, like I think he has the potential to be all the way up there close to 10. And when it's all said and done, you can't discount his rushing ability.
Would you take him over any of those in the top 10?
Roll up, scroll
so
up.
We've got CJ Stroud, obviously. Let me get past the obvious ones. Bryce Young, Caleb Williams, Malik Cunningham.
No,
I wish it could be higher.
I think 5, 6. Ewers is where it kind of gets a little iffy for me, and not because I don't know if Ewers is good. Like we haven't seen him play yet, and that's this is 100% projection on Ewers.
Yeah,
like it's not like he had a good year last year. Now we expect him to be better. Like he had no year last year, and we're just gonna say he's a top 8 quarterback. Like maybe he very well could be, but and I don't blame you because the offense is going to suit fantasy relevance, but Mordecai, I think, you can't really move him from up there. Will Rogers, he's going to throw it all over the place.
McCall, let me see if you buy into this part on Ewers, though. So Danny, part of the CFB Dynasty crew,
yeah,
he really buys into the psychology of these, NIL-focused players who are really already transferring and haven't played. He's way down on Ewers compared to me. I think Ewers is going to be fantastic, but
so he doesn't like Ewers,
right? So do you buy into the psychology that they're just so focused on NIL that they'll underperform?
I see where he's going with it because I think you have to think like, does he really love football or does he just love money?
Yeah,
like, and it's not wrong that he wants to get paid. I'm not saying that that's a problem. I'm just saying what's the most important thing to him.
Yep.
Because some people truly want to get better and be the best quarterback, where he might just say, you know what, I'm already good. I'm getting millions of dollars to play at Texas. I haven't even taken a snap yet. He's living life, right? He's 19. Was he 19? Probably 19.
Yeah,
20 at the most, right? Like some people just they top out there and say that's they've lived the life. And I don't hate his theory. That's not terrible.
Yeah.
But back to the original question, would
Yeah.
I put Daquan Finn above any of those people?
Yep.
Cameron Ward, I'm warming to him a little bit. I think he has potential to be a top 10 quarterback, but yet again, we haven't really seen him at the highest level play.
Yep.
Richardson is where you lose me. Richardson is either at 18 or at 50 because he's got all the raw ability in the world. But there were times you saw, okay, he was fantastic. And then there were times you're like, oh, God, no, he's not ready.
Yeah. Well, so
but
to be
you project
fair,
that
he played against USF
Georgia.
And then he played against Georgia.
Right.
So,
like I'm not holding necessarily against him. I'm just saying there were
you.
things that you see that you're like, man, he's got it. This guy's going to be like a superstar.
I think most of the sites out there, and I haven't seen them. I haven't really paid attention to where
I think you might have him ranked higher than most.
I think I have him lower than most.
Really?
Actually, yeah. And I've seen I haven't been able to get him. I've kind of waited on him in all the drafts that I've been. I've never got him for the value that I want him at. 18 might be a little high for me. Even he might come down a little bit, but he's going to be such a high percentage of the Florida offense. That I think
so
as long as he's healthy.
In our dynasty startup, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I guess he went 10th quarterback taken.
Yeah.
But see, that's a little different too because you're factoring in how much eligibility he has left.
But they have the same eligibility. Daquan.
No, I'm just saying, like in general, like you might lean Richardson over Armstrong because I wouldn't, but some people are like, oh, it's Virginia's offense is going to suck because now they got Elliott from Clemson. And like, no, they're not going to go away with what worked. I just don't believe they're going to go away with what worked. But back to the original question, Daquan Finn. Daquan Finn, I think you put him above KJ Jefferson. I don't think that's that hard to do. Cameron Ward, maybe not. Richardson, I might put him above him.
Yeah. I think that's
Van Dyke, maybe,
given that he had 28 points a game last year. Van Dyke, I love. Van Dyke, I'll probably end up flip-flopping him with Jackson Dart, who, Miami was really good under Van Dyke.
Jackson Dart's done this all offseason.
Yeah.
He was really high, then he kind of faded a little bit. Then he's kind of creeping back up into drafts. Finn went later in this draft that I should have got him. I don't know why we didn't get him. I feel like such an idiot.
What an idiot.
I feel like an idiot because he was our next pick and it just pissed me off.
So my one more, and then you have one more, and I'm super. I guess it's impossibly super lukewarm, but Bo Nix is someone who.
Oh, that was my next one.
All right, good, perfect. So we'll end on Bo Nix. He came in with all the talent. He came in as like a some sort of legacy recruit at Auburn. Just didn't have it. He also had a weird coaching scenario there.
Mm-hmm.
A new fresh start, man, could be everything for him. Out at Oregon, good talent. They've been stacking up good recruiting classes at Oregon. I think the best recruiting class in the Pac-12 4 years in a row, I think.
What's the Pac-12? Is that even a thing anymore?
For this year.
Just kidding. Go on.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. So, yeah, what do you think, Bo Nix? We've got him. I'm going to go ahead and just scroll down here. We've got him at 53rd. So in a 12 or 14 team league, you're looking at a fourth.
I used to hate on Bo Nix, he sucks. Yeah. But maybe it's because he was at Auburn, he just sucked. I think he has some ability, and he goes to Oregon where he's gonna start, and he's going. Let's face it, he's not facing SEC defenses every week. Now he has to face one. He has to face one, and it's probably the best one.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that,
debatable.
Georgia. Don't they play Georgia?
Yeah, it's just that the Bama D-line this year.
Oh. I thought you were trying to say Florida or something. I was like,
no, of course.
I know you're a homer, but God.
Absolutely not. And I try to consider myself a realist, but anyways.
No, I think he's got a really good chance to be a very good sleeper pick. Kenny Dillingham coming in, because
True.
OC. So I think that works well for him.
Yep.
Just the offense that he wants to run, I think that works well for Bo Nix, and I think his running ability is going to be used a little bit more than maybe it was utilized at Auburn.
Yeah.
So
Yep. And it's going to be fun to watch. Certainly week 1. Yeah.
yes,
It's going to be
like,
intense.
but good thing it's not a 1 week. You're not playing DFS with Bo Nix week 1, so it's a season-long marathon. So
yep.
Hopefully week 1 he doesn't get destroyed, and then he's good for the rest of the season. But after that, should be all right.
Yep. All right, so we've got some good sleepers for you guys to kind of target maybe later in your college fantasy drafts, and it's really draft season coming up, y'all. Before we know it, media days is coming. Yeah, go for it.
This one's kind of if you want to roll the dice, and we talked about it on our other podcast. We grabbed him in like the 41st round, whatever the heck it was. Now, Donovan Smith at Texas Tech.
Mm-hmm.
We believe that the Burning the Red Shirt team believes that he has a decent chance to win that job. It's not set in stone that the other 2 guys are just going to have that job. Donovan Smith stayed at Texas Tech, and we have to ask the question, why would you stay at Texas Tech if you think you have the ability and you're not going to win the job? That means that you have more of a chance to win that job than people are letting on, in our opinion. Now, does he win the job? Maybe, maybe not. Probably not. But if you're talking about high upside guys that potentially could be a top 10, 15 caliber quarterback, that's your guy. And we talked about it the other day, and actually Andrew, who sold me on it, because I wasn't that sold at first, and I said, you know what? If he has a legitimate shot at the job, why not grab him?
Mm-hmm.
Because that job's not settled.
It's not.
From as far as I'm.
No, you're right.
As far as I know.
Phil Steele has him 3rd on the depth chart, but yeah, it's very much fluid.
But like it's third. It's third, but is it 1A, 1B, 1C? Like, is that kind of how it is? Because you got to list somebody first, right? So
yeah.
And he writes that magazine in April and May. So he's got spring practice. I guess he's going on what intel he has. But
yeah, and he talks to coaches and stuff. But anyways, yeah, I agree. Like it's very much fluid. So
if you're going to take a roll the dice kind of pick, and you're like, you know what, I just think a 5th quarterback that could potentially be your 2nd quarterback, that's a good.
Especially if it's someone late that you can eventually drop. And I think Morton would fall into the same boat, in my opinion.
Here's the dynasty keeper, whatever you want to call it, aspect to it. If he doesn't win the job, then he transfers and goes G5 or somewhere else. And now he's the clear favorite to have the job. And now you've got a star at quarterback. Like, let's say he goes to FAU or wherever.
Yeah.
Goes to Liberty. I mean, like, he could go somewhere like that. And now you've got a top 10 quarterback just right off the bat.
In my in my home league, though, I have to really favor stability. We only allow 3 drops per year. So if you take a lot of those, you end up getting stuck, and you're only allowed 3 cuts in the off season. So it's one of those where you get as much intel as you can before you make a draft choice, and then also your 3 pickups during the year. Because we only have a 12-team league. So 12-team league where you can pick up and drop freely is too easy, in my opinion. But anyways. All right. So next up, guys, we'll have running backs out soon. To be honest, so Zach, my family, my wife and kids, she's going to her parents all next week.
Oh, man. We can knock out like 3 pods.
Yeah. So some golf, getting some golf, doing a lot of just normal work, and any updates to the website, which you guys, if you can join in the Discord, that would be fantastic. Totally open to suggestions on the website, suggestions on the rankings, anything you guys want to see, let me know. And then also, as we build in our database, which I've got to meet with the developer on this soon, there are more things that we can push out live to you. If you want more data to play with, we can make that happen. We're using the data in the background, like the Vegas metrics, the weather APIs, all that stuff, to put out rankings based on year-to-date data. But we can also give that to you guys as a tool. So maybe that's something we can chat about. Discord's a great place to make that happen. So join in. It's free. Just come in there and chat, and we look forward to it. Any other announcements? Anything to look out for, Zach, on Burning the Red Shirt Pod?
Nothing. We do our weekly pod. We try to do our weekly pod, usually earlier in the week, Monday, Tuesday-ish. We have a win total series that we go through team by team and game by game and say, okay, are they winning this game, losing this game? And then we project, or we say how many wins each team's going to have. And we have a running spreadsheet of all the teams we've covered. Now, to be fair, we don't always remember who we picked to win a game. So when we do another team that we've already done the team they play, we don't remember.
That's not acceptable.
We don't remember who they picked, so we're like, yeah, it might be a toss-up. But for the most part, we're pretty close to the Vegas number. We don't look at the Vegas number until after we've said how many wins we think they're going to have.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, so like we'll say, it's 7, and the number is 6.5. Like, okay, perfect.
That's actually a game on the Bill Simmons podcast. They play.
Is it really?
Guess the line.
So anyway, as far as that, we got our Discord, the Burning Red Shirt podcast Discord. But it's kind of one and the same with CFB Dynasty. CFB Dynasty is going to have rankings and stuff. We kind of just have more of a just kind of community to just talk about whatever and betting lines and just transfer news and anything we want to talk about. We just talk about it. So on the Twitter account, we've got the link to join it. So it's an open invite.
That's perfect. And I'll be on with I'll be a guest on with Jared, CFF Jared, on a mock Sunday night. So I'll be on live with him. That'll be fun.
You're going to live it with him?
Yep.
Is it just you and him?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yep. Looking forward to it. It'll be good.
I may have to chime in. I may have to chime in and just comment because he always comments
just
on ours.
Bash me on the comments. Yes, absolutely. So yeah, next up we got sleepers for running backs, sleepers for receivers. Maybe we'll fit tight ends in there too. And then I want to go over some freshmen after that. And then we've got to get into conference, best players for fantasy by conference. We'll go in after that, and then it will be darn close to the season. I can't wait. So, all right, Zach. Well, I appreciate it. We'll connect soon as you want.
Yes, sir.
And have a good rest of the night, guys. Appreciate it.
All right. See you guys.